Nerdy is defined as someone characterized by an obsessive interest in something. Xbox, Marvel, technology, D&D, Lord of the Rings, escape rooms, Pokemon, Funko Pop, Star Wars, PlayStation, comic books, Magic the Gathering, Nintendo, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers. All of that is Tech D Rob, host of the Nerd News Podcast, your source for everything nerdy.
I realize you guys are all nerds.
And this is the Nerd News Podcast.
Welcome to the newest edition of the Nerd News Podcast. It has been a while, I know. The past 2 weeks, no nerd news. Last week I was busy preparing for the Thanksgiving holiday, and the week before I just didn't find the time, unfortunately. But this edition will be shorter than usual, as I don't really have much to talk about. My vacation was filled with non-nerdy things, to be completely honest with you. I kind of just relaxed, which was nice. But I will talk about my thoughts on the new Scott Pilgrim show on Netflix, and what I did with my time. What the few nerdy things that I did do with my time. So that's coming up a little bit later on the Nerd News Podcast. But let's start, as we always do, with the quick hits. And let me adjust where they're at on my screen. So you may have noticed an edit right there, and that's because it's been so long since I've done a Nerd News Podcast that I forgot how to update my notes sheet that I have here, and I was going to tell you releases that came out at the beginning of November. So let's get into those quick hits again. The Calico game, whatever that is available on both PlayStation systems as of today. Dune Spice Wars is on next-gen Xbox consoles today as well. Roller Drome is on Xbox consoles today as well. And then 2 days from now, Biomutant makes its way to the Switch. I enjoyed that a lot when I played it on Xbox. Gangs of Sherwood is on next-gen PlayStation, Xbox, along with PC. Hitman Blood Money Reprisal is on iOS and Android. I'm sure that's great. An iOS or Android version of Hitman. Can't wait. Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion Remastered is on next-gen and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation, along with Switch and PC. And then the Batman Arkham Trilogy comes out for the Switch on Friday, and I doubt that's going to be playable because the Switch is just not a good console. As far as, it's a good console for Nintendo games. It's not a good console for third-party games. That's the best way to put it. Dragon Quest Monsters The Dark Prince is out on Switch on Friday as well, along with Steam World Build, which is current and next-gen Xbox and PlayStation, along with Switch and PC, available Friday as well. On DVD this week, we have A Haunting in Venice, which you can watch already on Hulu, along with the previous entry, which was not Murder on the Orient Express, I don't think, but there was one in between, Death on the Nile. I think both of those are available on Hulu. I need to watch both. I enjoyed Murder on the Orient Express well enough. Digitally out this week, Five Nights at Freddy's, which is available to watch on Peacock, I believe. And Freelance, which is a John Cena and Alison Brie vehicle that got some really, really bad reviews. Godzilla -1 and Silent Night are new in theaters this week, and I don't know if those are wide releases. Both are kind of an indie vibe to me. But Godzilla, I really don't know what Godzilla -1 is, to be honest with you. I just know it comes out Friday. So, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to explain what is this on my face. And I'm going to tell you a couple things that I did over the Thanksgiving break. That's all coming up next.
At TechD_Rob on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. More Nerd News Podcast next. Follow TechD_Rob on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. At TechD_Rob. This is the Nerd News Podcast.
Welcome to the briefest of Nerd News Podcasts in recent memory. So this week is the week leading into December, and after last week, which was Thanksgiving, and the week before, which was my birthday on the Sunday, and then the Monday came, and I just had so much to do to get prepared for the following week for Thanksgiving. I just didn't find time to do 2 editions of the Nerd News Podcast, but we are back today with, again, unfortunately, a shortened version, since it is the Monday coming back from the vacation that I'm recording this, and, it's difficult to find time to do things when you come back into all this stuff that needs to be done. But next week, we should be back on track for full-length episodes of the Nerd News Podcast. First, let me explain what this is on my face. It is a mustache, as you can tell. I thought it was handlebar, but I've been told handlebar is the one that kind of like looks like a handlebar. This is more of a Fu Manchu. It's missing, I believe, a little piece in the middle. But also, most Fu Manchus apparently are missing the hair in the middle. I don't know if that's like by design or if that's just the way that most people who grew Fu Manchus grew their hair. I don't know, but that seems to be what this is. And I'm also in my office with a jacket and a hat on. I mean, a beanie. And this is a giant beanie. I had to buy it specially because I have a giant head. Because it's cold. It's really cold in this house. I keep my heat, the thermostat, at 60 in the winter, and I don't remember what, 75 in the summer? I don't know. Either way, it's cold right now, and I prefer it that way, so I am okay. I just cover up a little bit, you know? Excuse me. But the mustache, anyway. I thought it would be funny. I did it on the Monday before Thanksgiving, before the last day of the show, and I was just like, you know what, we're on camera on YouTube. This is a good visual gag. And you know what? I was right. It's funny. And that's all I did it for, to be honest. I was getting bored of the beard, and I shaved here to help with my CPAP fitting, because it kind of just rests above my chin, typically. So I shaved a little bit here, and I went, you know what? Let's go all the way. So it was just the mustache. I've added the beard bars back in. I think the next step is to trim from here down and make that just be like a sideburn type situation, and then just leave the full mustache, and it'll be perfect. It'll be just great. I think many people I know would disagree with me, but you know, I'll do anything that's funny as long as it doesn't like physically hurt me. So yeah, that's the mustache. That's the deal. And speaking of mustache like this, Captain Price from Call of Duty has a similar facial hair, and I've been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. My nephew bought it for me for my birthday a couple weeks ago. So I've been playing a little bit with them. The game, they've changed minimal, which is okay. Call of Duty doesn't need to change too much, but all the maps are old maps, and that's not fun. I want new stuff. I mean, it's cool to have old maps mixed in, but there needs to be new maps at some point. I just don't understand why they thought that was the play. I don't know. But the game plays perfect. I mean, if you've played a Call of Duty game, you know that it's smooth. And typically, the controls respond the way they intend them to do. So that is the deal with Call of Duty. And you know it's going to look good. But I've heard the story missions aren't very good. I haven't gotten to the story part yet. I've been playing, exclusively online with my nephew since he bought it for me. I kind of feel obligated, but also if I had bought it myself, that's what I would have done anyway. But yeah, I've been playing that. I also have but watched the whole series of the Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, which, if you're familiar with the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World movie starring Michael Cera, it has the exact same cast. Everybody's back. Michael Cera, what's her name? Mary Elizabeth Winstead is back. All of them. Chris Evans. I mean, everybody's back. Literally everybody. Kieran Culkin, I think, it's one of the Culkins, plays his roommate. But it is a completely different story. So don't feel like if you've watched Scott Pilgrim, the movie, that you know what will happen here, because you won't. Even if you've read the Scott Pilgrim manga, I guess, maybe, or they're calling this the Scott Pilgrim anime, so I would guess that the written version of it would be a manga, right? I'm not 100% sure, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, so it's pretty good, and I enjoyed every episode of it, start to finish. Fun ride. If you like the Scott Pilgrim movie, give it a go. If you are a hardcore Scott Pilgrim book, manga fan, whatever, you may have a different feeling than me, because people seem to not enjoy it as much on that. And that's really the only nerdy updates I have for you. I did play a lot of Magic the Gathering Arena over the break. The newest set is out on there. It is, what is it called? Something Ixalan. I just can't remember. But it's a lot of fun. So if you're a Magic the Gathering fan, I know my lighting's going to be wildly different, because whenever I bring up this notepad thing here that I have, it just flashes the whole screen at me. So, again, shortened edition of the Nerd News Podcast. I believe my food is being delivered soon. Well, delivered. Meredith, my girlfriend, is bringing it home. So, I'm going to go ahead and log off here for today. And, again, Sorry for the shortened edition, but it is what it is. And more nerd news coming at you next week. A full-length episode, I promise you that. So, I'll see you then.
That's it for this week's Nerd News Podcast. Follow TechD-Rob on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at TechD_Rob. Subscribe now. More nerd news next week.